decided to do a stream. What am I going to go today? Of course, and what they are, a bunch of babies still crying that he fooled Aerospace and he did. I said before, I can't believe that you value these guys' opinion and that you take some of these guys serious as being, basically legitimate boxing champs. A lot of these dudes are just clickbaiters. But, I'm stuck in traffic on my way home. This is another reason why I don't like the fact that they moved me to day shift, because it takes me like anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours to get home. But nevertheless, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna do a stream, and I want to talk about basically a report that came out from a Canelo sparring partner who basically said that Canelo is lazy, he doesn't have a good work ethic, and saying that quiet is kept, that Canelo is getting tired of boxing. Now, I remember with John Ryder and this fight when I broke it down and just based off Canelo's performance, Ryder was a guy that they put Canelo in the ring, and basically that ring was the size of a porter potty that Canelo fought John Ryder in, and he still couldn't get him out of there. And of course, I said, and I wasn't even disrespecting Canelo. Hey, what's up, Chase? And I was just keeping it a buck. And of course, the predominantly Mexican Canelo, I'm specifying, y'all, got upset and started attacking me and getting mad. Like, what you getting mad for? Because I said that Canelo is getting long in the tooth. And that he, for real. I said that about Floyd. Like, the hell? You upset because I said Canelo is getting low, and for real, they really got upset. But y'all know me. You bring it to me, I'm gonna bring it back. But this is starting to explain a lot about Canelo. This is why Canelo fatigues in the ring, and you've seen this with Canelo, where he gets tired. As he told his sparring partners, allegedly said he didn't want to work out anymore. He didn't want to spar anymore. So you've been long hearing this about Canelo for a while, about Canelo not having a good work ethic. And if Canelo is getting long in the tooth, then it is what it is. And why wouldn't he? Canelo is 33 years old, if I'm not mistaken, 32, 33, 34. Canelo's had over 60 plus fights. And Canelo said himself that he had about 3 or 4 fights that he didn't get credit for. So you're talking about a dude that then had maybe possibly 70 fights. Over Ray Robinson one time fought, I think, 10 times in 1 year. Like maybe 3 times in 1 month. So, that's crazy. But nevertheless, that was then, this is now. And they didn't even have the state-of-the-art medicine and stuff that they got now. You didn't heard about Canelo having a whole bunch of operations, saying that his knees is starting to leave him. That could explain why he looked so bad against Bibon. And I was laughing at the fact that people actually thought that Canelo had a chance against Andre Ward or Arthur Beterbiev. And once again, Andre Ward said, all Canelo got to do is call my name and I'll come out of retirement. And people got mad at Andre Ward for saying that. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even have, listen, I got Marquez ahead of Canelo. Me, myself, the greatest Mexican fighter to me, I know a lot of people say Chavez, and Ricardo Lopez. That fool, Ricardo Lopez, was like 50 50-0-1. He retired undefeated. Ricardo Lopez was a little monster. Like, dude was a beast. So, it's a few people, and I got Marquez ahead of Canelo. Even though sometimes Marquez used to kind of complain too much every time a decision didn't go his way, he'd be talking about he got robbed. Now, I understand those Pacquiao fights, because you can make an argument that he won all 4 of those Pacquiao fights. He definitely won the first fight. Yeah. So, I'm just saying. And then, the thing is with Canelo, if it is the fact that Canelo not taking this fight serious, Canelo is playing a dangerous game. You don't play with boxing. So now, based off this news coming out, you might see getting close to the fights, whatever the spread or the odds is, they might start to get a little closer. What's going on? They might start to get a little closer. But you've always heard this about Canelo. And Canelo better not be playing with boxing, because he can go in there and get seriously hurt. And that's just real talk. He can get hurt. And then at the end of the day, is Canelo at this point even motivated to box anymore? Canelo is worth anywhere from $200 to $300 million from fight purses, his investments, his endorsement. So Canelo got a lot of money. So money isn't an issue with him. He got money. I mean, this is a dude that went on he went on Complex, and that fool dropped that fool dropped 19 racks on some kicks. So Canelo is not hurting for money. Yeah, I was watching that All Access, and it did look like Canelo had a little, when he was getting his massage. And then that's what his sparring partner was saying too, saying that he kind of slipped and said something. He said about something being in Canelo. So, but we gonna leave that alone. We already know what did happen with Canelo, but we gonna leave that alone. I don't know if dude was trying to be condescending or he accidentally dry snitched, but so I feel like this. I don't think the odds gonna be. We'll see this weekend, because they have him a heavy favorite versus Charlo. Now, if I'm Jamel Charlo, I would train like I'm training for the best Canelo, or the best version of Canelo that I'm gonna see, because this could be some decoy stuff to get Jamel relaxed. He go in there, oh man, you hear about Canelo, I ain't really gonna have to do much. Canelo is old, he decrepit, and then he go in there and he get the living shit beat out of him. So if I'm Jamel, I would pay none of this any attention. I would train for whatever version of Canelo that I've seen in the past. But you have to admit, if you look at Canelo's past performances, hasn't looked that sharp. He really didn't look that good versus Triple G. Keep in mind, they was talking about he gonna stop Triple G. He didn't even hurt Triple G in that fight, really. He didn't drop Triple G. He just got a decision. Then he got whooped on by Bibble. Then John Ryder. They did everything possible to put him in a position to stop John Ryder, and he couldn't stop John Ryder. And then I'm trying to think, what was the last time Canelo had a knockout? So it could be something of what the dude is saying. At age 33, 34, Canelo has a lot of wear and tear on him. Well, I'll put it to you this way. Depending on what happens next Saturday, if Canelo looks horrible versus Charlo even in a win, then people might start like going, and clamoring for a Terrence Crawford fight. Now, if he go in there, look sensational, dominate, well, here's the thing. How do you give Canelo credit? Listen, I'm just one of these dudes that just call it right down the middle and just keep it a buck. At the end of the day, how are we supposed to give Canelo credit if he wins this fight? Like, you making a dude come up 2 weight classes. You supposed to win this fight. So even, I mean, to be honest with you, Canelo is supposed to win this fight. I'm just saying. Are we supposed to give him credit for this fight, a fight that he's supposed to win? I mean, you fighting a dude that's never fought at 168. But people gonna say, y'all some haters. Y'all haters. Y'all racist. Whatever. I said when I first heard about this fight, I didn't like the idea of this fight. I wasn't on board with this fight. I said that I wasn't getting up for this fight because I'm like, okay, why? Canelo should be fighting David Benavidez or David Morrell. He should be fighting one of those guys. But he isn't. And this is why I go in on the PBC, and this is why I go in on these fake pro-black channels that always got something negative to say about Terrence Crawford. Now Canelo can come out the gate and he get to dictate who he get to fight. But these other niggas, they have to fight who Al Heyman recommend they fight. And while Al Heyman is costing dudes $1 million, they don't have no problem opening up the checkbook for Canelo, giving him $100 million basically to fight whoever the hell he want to fight. Because you just got to keep it a buck. It's laughable. He come back to the PBC and he asked to fight a junior middleweight. So Canelo should be fighting another super middleweight. Not no junior, like, you know what I'm saying? Not no junior middleweight that he make him go up like 2 weight classes. So like I said before, how are we supposed to celebrate give Canelo props for a fight like this? To me, this is a lose-lose situation for Canelo. It really is. And like I said, I'll accept the backlash. I know people gonna say, "Oh, you're a hater. Oh, you're a racist. Oh man, what about who is Terrence Crawford fault? Who is this dude?" Well, who is Canelo then fault? And that's why I made the video. Even if he does knock Charlo out, well, he's supposed to knock Charlo out, or at least beat him decisively. And no, him beating Charlo doesn't get him back at number 1, even though I never really had Canelo number 1 pound per pound. I had him on the pound per pound list by default, but I never had him number 1. And him beating Charlo is not going to get him at number 1. Because keep in mind, according to a lot of y'all, Charlo isn't a pound per pound fighter. So how is it that if he beats Charlo, who most people think ain't a pound per pound fighter, I do, but according to y'all, he isn't, that elevates Canelo back to number 1 pound per pound for a dude that's never fought at super middleweight before in his life. Now, if he had fought David Morrell and beat the hell out of David Morrell, or he beat the hell out of Charlo, or he beat Demetrius Andrade, oh yeah, well, then we could have that argument. We could have that discussion. Terrence Crawford beat the number 2, number 3 pound for pound consensus fighter. And Errol Spence. Errol Spence was considered on most people's pound for pound list at least between 1 and 3. That's all I'm saying, Mark. How you going like? Hey, he might do got some dirt on Al Heyman. I think. Listen, I don't want to hear nothing about this "don't attack a black man" stuff with Al Heyman because Al Heyman did. Because Al Heyman is screwed over more black men than Barry Gordy. So, I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, I said it. I don't want to hear none of that. Don't attack a black man stuff because Al Heyman favored everybody but black fighters. He makes sure that the Hispanic fighters get fight dates, but the brothers sit up there, got to sit on the couch. Ask Frank Martin. Al Heyman cost him $1 million, just like he almost cost Steve Fulton $3 million. But Canelo, like I say, Canelo could come in there and say, "I fight this guy." No, I don't fight David Benavidez. I fight this guy. Give me both Charlos, and then we see what happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo still I would be surprised if Canelo still fight Errol Spence. I still wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to make that fight happen. Well, Mark, if you think I'm joking, go look up Barry Gordy's history. Do you know? I'm gonna just say this right quick. You can look it up. Do you know one of the greatest albums ever made, "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye, almost never saw the day of light because of Barry Gordy, because he was scared of the political message that it had? He told Marvin Gaye he wasn't gonna put that album out. And Marvin Gaye said, "If you don't put this album out, I ain't never gonna record for you again." So Barry Gordy was a hater. And then keep in mind, when Michael Jackson's contract ran out with Motown and they decided to sign with Epic Records, he wouldn't let them take the Jackson 5 name with him. So that's why they became the Jacksons. And then he sold Motown to Universal Records / MCA for only $25 million. So go figure. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And you could add Russell Simmons to the mix, and you could add Russell Simmons to the mix too. Rick Rubin believed in Public Enemy more than Russell Simmons did. He didn't want to put out a what you would call political, you know what I'm saying, a political incorrect woke. At the time, they was calling that woke before the word woke got hijacked. That's funny. Russell Simmons didn't believe in Public Enemy, but he wanted to put out a satanic rap group. What was it that had what was that song called? Live Evil or something? Man, I can't remember. I forgot what they was called, the Flatliners or some that had that song called Live Evil, and their album was called Satanic Verses. Man, boy. Man, thank you, bro. Thank you, Jay. Hey, Jay, I might do a video on Barry Gordy. I should do a video on Barry Gordy and Russell Simmons. Yeah, Barry Gordy was a cold cat, man. Marvin Gaye had to put his foot down. He said, "Man, if you don't put What's Going On out, I ain't never gonna do another album again." But no, I'm just, you know. Well, that Michael Jackson stuff, that's one of them things. That'll turn into a whole different discussion. I'm gonna do some Michael Jackson videos. Oh well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And Jermaine, he was pussy whipped because he married Berry Gordy's daughter, and he sided with Berry Gordy. That's why they didn't speak to Jermaine for years. They didn't speak to that dude till they made Victory. So I'm just saying, yeah, I'm gonna do some Berry Gordy. I'm gonna do some Berry Gordy video. Oh yeah, Dre. I was real disappointed in Dr. Dre selling some of his catalog, man. I was real disappointed. Dre, the RZA, selling a big percentage of their catalogs. But it is what it is. But thanks for reminding me. That's gonna be a video for another day. I'm gonna start doing a whole bunch of hip hop videos. My first video gonna be on the on Cypress Hill, one of my favorite rap groups, Cypress Hill. Shout out to Cypress Hill. But man. But yeah, that's what I'm saying about Amy, man. Like I said, he got that fool Frank Martin sitting on the couch. He cost him a meal ticket. Frank Martin only made, and Shakur, I know Shakur was trying to be generous by trying to throw Frank Martin a bone, saying he made $200,000 his last fight. No, he didn't. Frank Martin made 100 racks. So he only made 25,000 more his next fight, and only because he beat Michelle Rivera. So he got 100,000. So he only got 100. He only got 100,000, and he let them talk him out of like taking a meal ticket. So, well, okay, well, listen. Okay, that's cool, Chase. He shouldn't have been. Listen, my thing is, don't open your fucking mouth talking about what somebody else need to do. Talking about Shakur, he need to take what Devin Haney damn offer him, and he need to do this. Devin Haney got it through the mud. If I got that opportunity, I'm jumping on it. Okay, well, opportunity knocked on his door. You know what I'm saying? Knocked on his door. He opened it up, and then he changed his mind and threw it out the door. I don't give a damn what the case is. Ain't nobody turning down nothing in my name. I'm taking that meal ticket. If Derrick James ain't available, I'll go get somebody else. Derrick James ain't available. Well, guess what? I'm gonna get somebody else. Kenny Porter would have been available. He could have got Kenny Porter. I would have been like, listen, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They said he really was going to make $1 million and some change. I've been like, all right, man, I'm going to give me another trainer. I'm going to trade with somebody else. I give you 25 racks, as a convenient. But my thing is, like I said before, they already had told you what was the target date. You already knew you was going to be fighting in November. And then here's the thing. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford isn't official. If you had a date set in stone before Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was set in stone, if you had a definitive date, which was November 16th, that's your priority. And it's not like He can't train both of them at the same time. Like I said, and then you have people trying to sit up there and trying to make excuses. Like I said, man, you let somebody cause you to lose out on $1 million. So like I said, you better be fighting on Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford 2 if there is an Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford 2, and you better be fighting in an arena instead of a ballroom or a conference room. And then Shakur, and then the funny thing is, and the funny thing is, right, these fools was making videos like Shakur took some kind of L. Shakur still ended up with a fight date. He still ended up with a dance partner. He ended up with a check, while Frank Martin get the pleasure of sitting up at the house. And then he sounded stupid talking all that shit about somebody, oh, if opportunity came my way, I want all them dudes. Then as soon as you got an offer, you walked away from it. All this stuff about, oh man, some people turned down to fight on my behalf. Man, you had 5 whole days to say that nothing was official. So like I said before, you know what happened? We all know what happened, man. I need somebody to explain to me how Shakur Stevenson took an L when he got a fight date and he got a check coming. Now, I don't know where the hell this fight is going to be at, because I know I talked to the top ranked people. They really trying to get that fight. They was really trying to get a fight at the MSG Spear. They really was trying to get a fight there. I don't know how that's going to work out. Well, the only way they can turn down, I'm trying to tell y'all how this works. The only way they can turn down a fight on Frank Martin's behalf if Frank Martin gave them a power of attorney. I would be surprised if it's at the T-Mobile Arena, Mark. Top Rank has never did a fight at the T-Mobile Arena. And the T-Mobile Arena been open, since 2017 or something? 2016, 2017? I think it's been open since 2016, something like that. Okay, yeah, it's been open. It's been open for a little while, and Top Rank has never did a card there. I do know that Top Rank have the Michelob. I know Top Rank have the Michelob Light Arena reserved for February. Now, who gonna fight in that arena is, you know what I'm saying, it's a mystery. It could be Teofimo, could be Shakur, could be, you know what I'm saying, could be somebody else. But yeah, I've never heard of Top Rank doing an event at the T-Mobile. This would be their first event, because usually the T-Mobile is reserved for the zone. But anything can happen. I mean, it's the first time for everything, but I'm just not used to them doing the T-Mobile Arena. But I heard that the card is going to be stacked. I heard that card is going to be stacked. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be at that one, because I know that the strip is gonna be a mess, because I know they gonna shut the strip down so they can, do the Formula 51 thing. So being in Vegas that weekend is gonna be terrible. So I don't know where they're gonna start the Formula 51 thing at, but I know the strip is supposed to be closed down, so the strip is gonna be a hot mess. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why they doing the fight on the Thursday. I'm just saying the strip is just going to be a mess, because they're going to have to close the strip down, and they're going to have to build all that stuff. They're going to have to build that stuff, cut off blocks of stuff, and Like, it's just gonna be a mess trying to be in Vegas that weekend and stuff. Now, I did look, the hotels is dirt cheap. So like I said, hopefully I could get to the fight, but the problem is getting home. Because at the end of the day, that's gonna be running too close to Devin Haney and Regis. But I'm gonna try my hardest to get out there. Because I do want to see this thing. I do think that I need to be there. So I just wish they could have did this on a Friday. Because but like I said, man, getting back to Canelo. Canelo better think long and hard about his next couple of fights. Because like I said, if his mind ain't in boxing, if his mind somewhere else, he can end up getting his mind knocked out of him. He might end up getting knocked into the shadow realm if he not taking this serious, if his mind is not focused on boxing. You know, because the dude said that he got 1 foot out the door anyway. And like I said before, if you're not motivated by money and you ain't worried about accolades, you know, and you ain't fighting for the thrill of it and saying you don't really care for it no more, you need to get out of there. But like I said before, looking at the whole fight, like it's just hard for me to get excited about this fight. As a dude that cover fights and me being a media member, that's it. I'm gonna watch the fight, but have you really heard me say, man, I can't wait till next Saturday? Because it's just like, okay, like I said before, if you watch the fight and Canelo wins, like I said, he's supposed to win. Now, by some miracle, Jamel wins the fight. It says a lot. He ain't winning because he's Jamel. It's because Canelo is old. Or Canelo got old overnight, because he's not supposed to win that fight. Because, I mean, people ain't going to give Jamel credit anyway. I promise you, Jamel ain't going to get no credit. I'll try to give him some credit, but it's just going to say a lot about Canelo. Well, why should he get credit? That's what I said, Mark. If Canelo lose next Saturday, if he lose on the 30th, man, he need to quit fighting. I'm talking about he should never fight, man. When I say he should hang up he should announce his retirement like right after that fight. And God forbid if he gets stopped. If Jamel knocked Canelo out, Canelo need to, when I say he need to say, I quit. He need to be like, I quit. I retired. Because to me, this fight to me is just going to show me how Canelo is going to look if he fights somebody like David Morrell or Demetrius Andrade or David Benavidez. Look, Canelo been ducking Demetrius Andrade for years. And anybody that say different, they lying. He has not wanted to fight that dude. He has went out of his way to avoid Demetrius Andrade. Well, Andrade he too elusive for Canelo, and then plus he fights southpaw, so it's just like, and he one of them dudes, he could throw punches from different angles and stuff. And and he big, and he skilled. Demetrius Andrade is a dude that I was real high on like about 6-7 years ago. I really think he could have been a legitimate pound for pound fighter, but then he just couldn't get the fights that could get his name out there. He couldn't get the fight with the Charlos. I know that he, allegedly backed out of a fight because of money. I don't think it had nothing to do with him being scared, which was a bad look then. Not to mention he had that terrible contract with Banner Promotions. He just was a dude. He didn't like, as far as the business end, he didn't take care of business, and he found himself in a lot of peculiar situations. I don't want to go, deep into his business, but he just, he had bad people handling him. He really did, and that's factual. He just never got that opportunity. But Canelo been ducking him for years. I mean, Canelo told him to his face. He told him, you just want a payday. He said, you a horrible fighter. He said, you a horrible fighter. He told him straight up. He said, I'm not going to fight you. He said, you just want a payday. He said, you a horrible fighter. He told them to get the fuck out. When he came into the press conference, Canelo just ain't never wanted to fight that dude. And David Benavidez is having reservations about fighting him. Demetrius Andrade, he gets up for certain fights. I can tell you he going to get up for a fight with Canelo. He going to get up for a fight with David Benavidez. That's why I said a fight with David Benavidez could end in a controversial split decision win for either guys. But I do think there are some falsehoods about Canelo that I don't like. Man, dude, I've been trying to tell you Canelo speak better English than what he let people believe. Because I could have sworn Stephen Curry said that Canelo's English is better than what people think it is. Because I know people have been saying that about Manny Pacquiao. They say Manny Pacquiao can speak English way better than he lets people believe. So it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. His English was real good that day. He said, you're a terrible fight. He said, you're terrible. He said, you just want payday. Yeah, he was like, you want payday? He said, get it. Nah, Canelo learned how to speak English years ago. Canelo learned how to speak English like back in 2013 and stuff. He did a perfectly good English interview on The Breakfast Club. Listen, let me tell you something. When I was a guest at Santa Rita, a lot of times those Mexicans, when they'd get rung up, when they'd put us in the pod, they'd do that stuff. Me not understand English, and then soon as the, what I'm saying, soon as the sheriff leave, then they start talking regular English like me and you. So I done seen that trick did hella times. They just do that stuff. They get in the pod. They be like, how long you been in America? He say, I was born here. You can't speak English? No. So, and then the sheriff get mad. Then the sheriff get mad, and then he be like, yeah, whatever. He can't. So, yeah. Oh yeah, Canelo's English was perfectly good when Demetrius Andrade came in there. He said, "Get out." He said, "You're terrible." He said, "I'm not fighting you." He said, "You want a payday." But yeah, I always thought that Demetrius Andrade could beat Canelo, but the problem is, would he really, you know what I'm saying? He could beat Canelo, but would he get the win on paper? Would he get the win on paper? You know, would he get the win on paper? Yeah, dude just always had a style that I thought would give Canelo fits. Canelo struggle against slick fighters, aggressive fighters, and guys that can bring the fight to Canelo. Demetrius Bivol was so strong. Like, I think Dimitri Bivol, I think he didn't realize till like the 10th or 11th round how easy time he had with Canelo. Because he kind of said, he was like, well, I went into the fight ready and thinking that I was going to get robbed. But what was so funny about the Dimitri Bivol fight, when they read the scorecards, they had gave, I think two or at least all three of the judges gave Canelo like the first 4 rounds. And then they gave Canelo 1 round in between. So that's how Dimitri Bivol ended up winning 7 rounds to 5 on all 3 of the scorecard. But anybody that saw that fight, Dimitri Bivol, worst case scenario, won like 9 rounds. Like, you would be generous. Like, you would be kind of generous giving Canelo 4 rounds in that fight. You would be, you know what I'm saying? You kind of pushing it, giving Canelo 3 rounds. I really only, after watching that fight, I didn't watch that fight about 4 times. I think Canelo, to be honest with you, I think Canelo, out of the 12 rounds, I think he easily lost 10 of them. And Dimitri Bivol, I think he didn't realize that if he would have stepped on the gas, he could have stopped Canelo. And the reason why Canelo didn't take the rematch at 168, because he didn't want to put up his belts, and he was scared that Dimitri Bivol would beat his ass again at 168 and then be the champion. And then he might even, like, man, I was telling people, Dimitri Bivol, he was stopping. If they would have fought again, he would have stopped Canelo. He would have stopped Canelo if they would have fought again. And everybody knew he could have stopped Canelo in that first fight. That's one of the very few things that I ever agreed with Joe Rogan on, that had Dimitri Bivol been more aggressive, he would have stopped Canelo. And I think he probably looked back at that fight, he probably's like, man, I could have stopped this dude. He had, and you know somebody is getting beat bad when they corner don't have no instructions for him. Eddie Reynoso told Canelo to just figure it out. He didn't even have no instruction for him. He said, what's up, CB? He said, just figure it out. He just told Canelo, hey, man, just figure it out, man. Something might happen. You might get lucky. So I was like, damn, man. Shit. But yeah, there you have it, though. But anyway, you guys, I'll be back with more.